Rajesh was a charming young man, always smiling and eager to please. From the outside, his life seemed perfect. But Rajesh harbored a dark secret, one that he was too ashamed to share with anyone. It all began innocently enough, with late-night internet browsing that progressed to more explicit content. Soon, Rajesh found himself spending hours online, his thoughts consumed by a constant need for sexual gratification. At first, it seemed like a harmless indulgence, a way to unwind after a long day. He told himself that it was just a phase, that he could stop anytime he wanted. But the more he indulged, the more he felt trapped in a vicious cycle of craving and shame. Rajesh started to isolate himself from his loved ones, his social life dwindling as his addiction took hold. He knew that what he was doing was wrong, but the pleasure he derived from his addiction was too powerful to resist. The guilt and shame were overwhelming. Rajesh tried to stop, to regain control over his life, but the cravings were too strong. He felt helpless, caught in a web of his own making, unable to break free. The internet, once a source of entertainment, had become his prison, a constant reminder of his growing addiction. Every failed attempt to stop only deepened his despair, making him feel like a complete failure. Rajesh's addiction began to permeate every aspect of his life, casting a long shadow over his relationships and work. His once promising career began to suffer as he found it difficult to concentrate on anything other than his next fix. He was constantly tired, his mind and body exhausted from the relentless pursuit of sexual gratification. Deadlines were missed and his performance plummeted, earning him reprimands from his superiors. His relationship with his family became strained. They noticed his withdrawal, his lack of interest in their lives, and his constant irritability. Heated arguments erupted, fueled by Rajesh's inability to explain his erratic behavior. He loved his family but couldn't bring himself to confide in them, fearing their judgment and rejection. The shame he felt was suffocating, pushing him further and further into isolation. His friends too noticed the change. The once jovial Rajesh had become withdrawn and secretive, avoiding their calls and canceling plans at the last minute. His social life, once vibrant and fulfilling, was now reduced to fleeting encounters in the virtual world, devoid of any real connection or intimacy. He craved genuine human contact but felt too ashamed to reach out, trapped in a prison of his own making. The turning point came when Rajesh realized the extent to which his addiction was destroying his life. One evening, after a particularly heated argument with his parents, Rajesh found himself staring in the mirror, disgusted by the reflection staring back at him. He saw a stranger, someone lost and broken, trapped in a cycle of self-destruction. It was in that moment of raw honesty that Rajesh decided to seek help. He had hit rock bottom, and the only way forward was up. With trembling hands, Rajesh reached out to a therapist, his voice shaking with a mixture of fear and hope. Confessing his deepest, darkest secret to a complete stranger was one of the most difficult things he had ever done. But as the words tumbled out, he felt a sense of relief, a burden lifted from his shoulders. For the first time in years, Rajesh allowed himself to believe that recovery was possible. He knew the journey ahead would be long and arduous, but he was determined to break free from the chains of addiction. He had glimpsed a glimmer of hope, a chance to reclaim his life and rebuild the relationships he had damaged. Rajesh's journey to recovery was not easy. Therapy sessions were painful as he confronted the root causes of his addiction. He learned about the science behind addiction, understanding that it was not a moral failing but a complex medical condition that required professional help. Through therapy, he began to develop healthier coping mechanisms, replacing his addiction with positive activities that brought him joy. Joining a support group was a turning point. Surrounded by people who understood his struggles, Rajesh no longer felt alone. He found solace in their shared experiences, drawing strength from their stories of resilience and hope. The support group became a safe space, a place where he could be vulnerable, sharing his fears and celebrating his victories without fear of judgment. Gradually, with the help of therapy, support groups, and the unwavering love of his family, Rajesh began to heal. He learned to forgive himself, to see beyond his mistakes, and to embrace the possibility of a brighter future. His journey to recovery was a testament to the power of human resilience, proving that even in the darkest of times, hope can emerge, leading the way to healing and redemption.